Chapter 23. It is the morning meditation. The temple hall is full. I see many new faces, not only Indian, but from other lands as well. In this peculiar atmosphere of India, it is easy to understand the feelings of those gathered around the departing saint. I almost venture to say that it would not be difficult to actually see the thoughts of every single person in the hall. But this kind of curiosity or experiment has no place in this sacred abode. It would be a sacrilege. One thing is clear. We take farewell of the Maharshi, each one according to his own capacity. The form of it does not matter. We are all united at the feet of the Master in adoration and in silence. Near me, I see an elderly European gentleman, dressed only in a shirt and navy blue shorts, with a rosary around his neck. He has probably spent a long time in India, for his skin is uniformly brownish in hue. Short gray hair and a mustache adorn a thin and somewhat sad-looking face. He is looking at the Master with a certain immobility, as if trying to engrave Maharshi's features on his mind forever. He seems to be aware that it is the last time that we will be able to contemplate the Guru's countenance. He left after 2 days, and I have not seen him since. During our common meals, he sat in the farthest corner of the hall, had his own spoon, fork, and plates, took only a few dishes, and had milk specially served for him, as it had been for me. Yogi Ramaya, immovable in contemplation, with a face as if cut from granite, is sitting at his Master's feet, surrounded by Brahmins of the ashram staff. An elderly lady just opposite me was gazing intently at Maharshi with an expression of boundless devotion, but also of despair and a kind of inner revolt, as if she is unable to accept the certainty that soon she will no longer see him in his earthly form. And of Maharshi? After this new operation, he is thinner than ever. The features seem to be transparent, the color of his face more fair, as if there were nothing earthly about him. A statue and an abstraction incarnate, if this expression can convey any meaning. No, it is the spirit which, from the sphere of matter, returns to its own realm, and is only in a very loose and subtle way still in touch with what we see as the physical body of the saint. His peace is permeating everything all around us. There are no more unsolved problems, no unfulfilled desires, no movements in consciousness. It is now clear that there is no need of thinking as it seemed before, for thinking is an unnecessary, purposeless thing. What is it that concerns me now? What is happening to me? Where is that man who had a name and many thoughts? All this now seems so far from the me concept. Oh, if I could only hold this state at any cost and not return to the world of shadows and illusions. If I could only remain in this silence wherein there is no I and you, no time, no space. The light is now pouring out in such abundance that everything is inundated by it. The open eyes see nothing but light. I know that this form, now so foreign to me, seems not to breathe anymore. Would its breath disturb the peace of eternity if I do not know? In this light, the boundaries of the past and the future are vanishing. Both are now like open plains. No, it's not true. For the momentary awe before the opening of the great gate now gives way to the happiness of awareness that time does not exist anymore. Like a lightning flash come to memory the words of the revelation of St. John, that there should be time no longer. Yes, I now realize that true life is independent of time, and that if we are still living in time, it is not real life. Resurrection, that unfathomable mystery, becomes a realized truth here in this invisible light. Everything is unjusted. Should say adjusted, united, corresponding, each to the other in full harmony. Only words fail to express what one sees. Mere fragments remain in the brain, which serves as a medium to put these bits together and transform them into coherent thoughts and words. But then we are no more there. How long this new state lasts, I do not know, for there it can be measured neither in hours nor even in seconds of time. In this state, there is no thought about it at all. And the intuitional certainty that as soon as I allow even one thought to enter my mind, I shall fall back here, where I do not want to return. And this helps me to stay in contemplation. But afterwards, I am unable to remember this state clearly. Probably contact with the mind was completely severed, so that no bridge remained. I now find myself sitting by one of the columns in the hall and looking almost with wonder at everything around me. My first thought is, shall I be able to repeat this plunge into silence again? Shall I not forget the path which leads to that land? But the mind has not yet recovered its usual alertness, and I am not at all anxious to return to it. The blissful state of inner silence and peace still continues. Then from the violet smoke of the incense, Maharshi's face emerges before my eyes. The same motionless gaze looks into the vast beyond, but with one difference. It seems that at the same time, he is looking into my inner being as well and seeing what I experienced a moment ago. Yes, I am certain that he knows all of it. Who else could see if not Maharshi? I may have been a guest for a moment in the land where he permanently dwells. Now a mute but intense prayer flashes out of my whole being. Oh, take me there. Do allow me to live forever in that blessed land. I do not care any more for this illusory world. I shall gladly step through the gate of death, if such be the condition. I see that he is now definitely looking at me, and the answer is ready in his luminous eyes. The unreasonable outburst is stilled. I am now reconciled with what is unavoidable. I know that all is and must be for the best. Everything will come in due time, just as time is needed for the ripening of a fruit, for the change of a chrysalis into a butterfly. The sound of the gong is heard. Everyone stands up when Maharshi with the assistance of his attendants, gets up and goes towards the door. It is the hour of the noon meal. Maharshi is always insistent on perfect equality on the physical plane. One of its expressions is his care about a perfectly equal distribution of food. Several times I have witnessed his personal intervention when the share of one or two among the numerous guests seemed to him to be smaller than that of the others. One morning when we found on our leaves, besides the usual rice cakes, some fruit, a banana, a few pieces of orange and apple, the sage broke his silence, habitual during meals, and said a few words to the serving Brahmin in an almost severe tone. Here I saw what a tremendous significance the slightest hint of the Master has for all who are near him as inmates of the ashram. The poor Brahmin rushed to my leaf, begged me to excuse him, and, shy as he was, seized it with all its contents and took it to show the Maharshi. At first I could not understand what it all meant, but I soon realized that the sage was counting the fruit on my leaf and comparing the number with those on his own. As soon as he saw that the quantity was the same, he addressed the serving Brahmin more graciously, making a gesture in my direction. The man answered a few words, visibly comforted to have justified himself before the highest tribunal, and then he brought back my breakfast. To those who have not witnessed this little scene and have not known the Master personally, it might seem insignificant or even naive. But Maharshi knows human hearts with all their weaknesses and imperfections. That is why the remedies which he administers, when he judges it proper, never fail in their results. What could be more encouraging and comforting than to see such a simple, friendly gesture on the part of a spiritual giant like him, if I understood only later the meaning of it all? In spite of the usual, unvarying, extremely kind and friendly attitude of the saint, one is rather shy in his presence, especially in the beginning, and this may become a hindrance to one's inner approach. Our intuition whispers to us the tremendous difference in the levels between ourselves and him. But the Maharshi discards this unbecoming and egocentric attitude without words, showing by his own example what should be our behavior with others.